started my whole law enforcement career as a mounted officer. And I loved it. I loved police work. I loved protecting the people. In '66, I believe it was, we started the Rockland County Sheriff's Patrol Division. And I was one of the first 10 officers on that unit. I became a sergeant and worked myself up through the ranks to chief. And as chief, I retired after almost 30 years and ran for sheriff, and was blessed by the people supporting me. And that allowed me to have 20 years as the elected sheriff of the county of Rockland. And that, of course, has been a thrill. The question that always comes up, how long did it take you to get over being sheriff? And I normally answer with the simple truth, one day. Because I had served my county, I'd done my duty. I felt that it was time to get out of the way. But the real important question has always been the same. How long did it take you getting over the people that you worked with and the people you protected? And the answer to that has always been the same as well, forever. The greatest legacy, if somebody was to ask me what the legacy was that I appreciated the most, it would be the fact that we created a police chiefs, sheriffs, DAs, state police, federal law enforcement team. I always called it the Band of Brothers. And we were dedicated to each and every department working together to protect the people. And that was good. One of the most significant events in law enforcement history in Rockland County that day. And we were all there, we were all part of it. And on that day, the police service of the county of Rockland matured. And police service grew up and matured because we recognized the vulnerability of our service, and with the loss of our officers, Waverly Brown and Eddie O'Grady, that security officer, Peter Page, we decided right then and there as a group of police officers that we had to work much closer together, to cooperate, to coordinate. And from that day to this day, it's been a forward motion and a tremendous success. As an 8th grader, I read some books in the 8th grade school library by a fellow by the name of Joseph Alderscheller. I can still remember his name because of his influence on me. And he wrote a book, a series of books regarding a family in Kentucky. And this family had 2 cousins. One went to the south and one went to the north. And the books would take you through the history of the Civil War through their eyes. And I just love them. The Guns of Bull Run, the Guns of Shiloh, and right up till Appomattox. And I fell in love with the Civil War history. I fell in love with American history at the same time. I can remember very vividly attending Gettysburg's 100th anniversary, July 3rd, 1963. I walked along the battlefield of Cemetery Ridge, and from that day until this day, and I would assume that's almost 50 years, it's 50 years coming up to the day, and I just grew to love Gettysburg. And a couple of companies were from Haverstraw. The flag that is over in the Fire Training Center is the actual regimental flag carried at Gettysburg. We were able to find it up in a warehouse in total disarray. The people of Rockland County funded it by donation. We had it completely restored, beautifully restored, and it's on display there. The 95th at Gettysburg was commanded by Major Edward Pye. Major Edward Pye of Haverstraw was also Rockland County Court Judge Edward Pye. So Rockland County was at Gettysburg. They fought at the railroad cut on July 1st, the famous attack against the railroad cut, along with the 14th Brooklyn and 6th Wisconsin. They made it famous. It was a famous part of the battle. So that Rockland County was part and parcel of the history of the Civil War, by far. Underground railroad operations in the county existed. Just generally steadfast to the Union. I'm privileged to own some what I think are wonderful businesses that are related directly to the history of Gettysburg. And that includes the Artillery Ridge Campground, from which we have the National Riding Stables, tours of the battlefield. I love, as a battlefield guide, which I am, I give the horse tours as much as possible. And I've taken thousands of people out through the battlefield. And to see it on horseback is just wonderful. It's amazing. And I've always told police officers, no matter what their ranks, one characteristic that I would want you to have, and this would go for the general public as well, and for all of our elected officials. You know, I would like to see all of our elected officials sit down at a meeting and not think what's best for them, what's going to get them reelected, but think about why they're there, and that they're really the employee of the public, and what is the best way for them to serve that public, and the best characteristic to successfully complete that mission, in my opinion, is to have a good heart. Have a good heart. You can have all the other characteristics, courage, integrity, honor, duty, all of that is great stuff. But the foundation is having a good heart. If you have it in your heart, then you can do all the others.